Hello, what is up? I am back with another tier list video. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day. If you did get a chance to see my first video on my channel, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna try to bring the quality up in each of my videos. So I got a new setup here. I'm gonna be fumbling a bit with my mic. I'm gonna be trying to switch it around, but I'm gonna do the best that I can to bring you quality content and give you my honest opinion, okay? So this video is another tier list, of course, and it is about superhero shows. I love superheroes. I love Game of Thrones. I love Harry Potter. I'm a huge geek for that kind of stuff, but I also love football. Oh, I love playing guitar. Those are just some things about me, but let's talk about this. So first, I have to get out of the way a big I guess I have to apologize because more than half of these I have not seen. And I do want to get around to them, but I don't make these tier lists. These are preset. I did adjust these columns. Let's go over that really quick. So most of them are self-explanatory. Let me just explain this one. There are some shows that are really good at times, but a lot of the time they're not, and it's really hard to like them because they're so inconsistent. So this is that category. I don't know why I put not consistent when I can just put inconsistent, right? But we'll see if there's any of those. There should be a couple, but yeah, so these first ones all the way up to Shield, I'm sorry, I have not seen. I'm gonna say a couple words for some of them. I might give my opinion, but let's go through them really quick. Daredevil, I definitely want to watch. Definitely gonna get around to that. All the Marvel ones, they all look great. I've heard some bad stuff about Punisher, um, or not Punisher, Iron Fist, but they all look so interesting. I've seen their intros. They're great. Um, these Marvel shows, I haven't heard Cloak and Dagger and Runaways, Inhumans, I haven't heard as much about. Agent Carter looks awesome as well, and Preacher looks interesting. I haven't seen a lot about that. I know Watchmen, oh, sorry guys. I know Watchmen won a bunch of Emmys or got nominated. Then we have The Tick, which looks pretty funny. Gotham, definitely want to get around to. Krypton looks pretty interesting. Legion looks really weird, but I'm down for that. Pennyworth, another one. Smallville, I was gonna watch it. It's just very long, and I honestly don't have time. But when I do get around to it, I definitely am interested. The Gifted, I've barely heard anything about, and Shield, I have seen the first couple episodes, and that's about it. It was pretty good, but again, I'm sorry. I know it feels like there's barely any here, but as we go on, I'm going to do more tier lists. I'm going to watch more things, and eventually I will do an updated one of this, hopefully where I've watched all of these shows right here. So let's go ahead and start. I'm actually just going to start with Birds of Prey. We're going to get this one out of the way. Birds of Prey, I gotta go with bad, alright? The writing was not that interesting. I had a hard time getting through it. The characters were not the most likable. Huntress was not always the most likable. Um, it felt very like they were trying to push the female superhero, which I'm all for, but the execution just wasn't there, and it was definitely disappointing. I was looking forward to it, and it the fight choreography was not very good as well. I don't recommend watching it. I mean, it is a pretty old show. It's about 15 years old, so I can't hate on it that much. But in the end, I had a hard time getting through it, and I just wanted to watch it because it was in crisis, and I was a little bit interested. Next, let's go with Batwoman. I Okay, hear me out. I actually enjoyed the Alice storyline in Batwoman, right? But the rest of the show was just not good, and I tried to watch season two, and I couldn't. It was not good in my opinion. I'm gonna put it in bad. I'm gonna put it above Birds of Prey. And I solely believe that Alice was a great villain, a great actress. She was also in Birds of Prey. She played Black Canary. But I just couldn't. I think most people have this problem with Batwoman. They didn't do that good of a job, and it felt like they didn't spend a lot of time on it. But the Alice storyline, I did enjoy. I thought Ruby Rose was pretty good. I mean, I know a lot of people hate her at it as Batwoman, but I thought she was alright. Um, so yeah, she's so while Batwoman isn't bad, it is close to inconsistent because I did enjoy Alice. Black Lightning. Black Lightning is either decent or inconsistent. I'm gonna go with decent, okay? Black Lightning had some great moments, but I couldn't, alright, I just wasn't into season 4. I might go back to it. I might go back to Batwoman as well. These are both shows I might pick up again. But at the moment, the CGI, they didn't spend a lot on it. They spent a ton on Superman, right? And they blew their budget for Black Lightning. I like the characters. I like Painkiller. Painkiller is my favorite. My favorite in this is Alice. And in Birds of Prey, my favorite might be Oracle. I'm not 100% sure, though. We will talk about favorites. So for Black Lightning, Tobias is a great villain. I like Khalil's story, but it just it has a lot of downs. And I know it sounds like I should put it in inconsistent, but I do think it is a decent show, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it at certain times. Okay, Arrow. Arrow, I'm gonna put in good for now. We might move it up, okay? Inconsistent, I might not use this, but it's kind of a good border between decent and bad. You know, there's a middle there. Well, Arrow is inconsistent. The season 5 finale is amazing. Prometheus, Adrian Chase is amazing. Um, Slade is amazing. Roy Harper is amazing. I can go on and on. Roy might be my favorite character. League of Assassins was cool. Nissa was cool. Talia was cool. The prison storyline was great. Arrow has lots of great things. And then there is Felicity, okay? I liked Felicity season 1. I liked her season 2, but I didn't like when they started pushing her relationship with Ollie, and I just thought Ollie was way better with Black Canary or Laurel. So I did not like that, and that took a lot of the show out of the show for me, especially in season 6 when they started kind of making Felicity the leader of the team. It just didn't fit her. Um, Maybe if she was leading with Oliver, but she started to boss Oliver around a lot. And I mean, I'm not saying Oliver should boss her around, but I just think the way they did her character, she was not very likable, and I found her annoying a lot of times. But I actually am gonna move Arrow to great. I loved season 8. I know some people don't like it because it felt very un-Arrowy. The traditional Arrow is grimy and dark, and I love seasons 1 and 2, but season 8 was great. We had Quentin back, we saw Adrian Chase, we saw Tommy, and I loved it. It was a trip down memory lane, and when it was at its peak, Arrow was great. Season 5 finale might be one of the best episodes I've watched in a TV show ever. Alright? So, it's definitely a great. Supergirl. Supergirl's inconsistent. Honestly, I find Kara annoying a lot of times. Don't kill me, but the show is not very good. But there are two things that save this show and put it at inconsistent. There are two things I enjoy. Number one is Brainy. Brainy comes in what, season 4 or 3? I love Brainy. He's my favorite character in Supergirl. And number two is Lex Luthor. John Cryer's Lex Luthor, I really enjoyed. I thought he was a great Lex. Different. I liked the scene in court where play I did it my way. I'm sorry you had to hear my singing, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed Lex. But other than that, I did not enjoy Supergirl. I enjoyed the crossovers. By the way, crossovers for CW, I enjoyed them. The CW shows are definitely not the best, but um, yeah, Supergirl is an inconsistent because I don't think it's terrible. It definitely is terrible at times. Don't get me wrong. It is definitely terrible at times. The CGI is terrible. But Brainy and Lex, I love them. Man, I love them. Alright. Constantine. Constantine's decent. Um, I don't think it's better than Black Lightning just because it got canceled. And while I know it's not really the show's fault, well, I guess it is if it didn't get good reception. We just didn't see a lot of plot lines finish, and it's annoying. My favorite character in Constantine is probably Constantine himself, John. He's so funny. Um, the actor's great. God, I'm blanking on his name. Matt Ryan, I think it is. But I liked the storyline with Manny. I liked the horror element. It was a very creepy show. Um, and I liked the Easter eggs. There was a Dr. Fate helmet in one of the episodes. I don't think it was better than Black Lightning, just because we didn't see a lot of it. And Black Lightning has lots of great storylines. In case I didn't mention, my favorite Black Lightning character is Painkiller. He is a badass. And then in the last season, they also had the New Earth guy. I can't remember his name, Brandon. And they had the radio guy. And I like in Black Lightning season 3 when they kind of create a team. But I'm getting off track, right? Um, yeah, Constantine. Yeah, I think it was a decent show, alright? Um, Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol is amazing. The characters are great. Robot Man might be my favorite, but it's one of those shows, it's so hard to choose. I love them all. I love Jane, I love Rita, I love Cyborg, I love Larry. They're all great. This show is so good. I did not expect it to be this good. I go into it, I'm like, okay, the intro is sick. Alright, let's get that out of the way. So after the intro, first episode was amazing, dude. It was so damn good. I binged the rest of the seasons. There's only two. It's getting to season 3, but I loved it. The humor is great, and the sadness and the storytelling. You feel for the characters, and their backstories are so compelling. It kind of reminds me of Lost, with the flashbacks. But I loved it. It is definitely amazing, and it is it is great. Yeah. Well, it's not great. It's amazing. What else can I say about it? The story is very well written, and um, Mr. Nobody is hilarious. The fighting, there's not a lot of fight choreography, but the CGI on like Silver Tongue, and all of Jane's personalities is awesome. She has all of her personalities, like the one that's like the doctor that like speaks to your thoughts or desires. I'm not completely sure. But I'm rambling on. Amazing show. Amazing. Flash. Flash is good. I love season 1. Amazing. 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 I love season 2. Great. Season 3. Okay. Season 4. We're getting not as good. We have that whole We Are the Flash thing, which was kind of dumb, in my opinion. Um, but but at its best, it was amazing. And it's not inconsistent because when it was the first 2 seasons, if we said Flash ended there, it would be amazing. But the last 4 seasons, I just haven't enjoyed as much, and part of that is the way they've written Iris. For me, it's kind of become Iris with a little Flash, and it's disappointing because I really enjoyed the first 2 seasons. We had a balance. There were still some annoying moments with Iris, don't get me wrong. But all in all, I thought the show was great. Like I said, it's dropped off the past couple seasons. Season 7 comes out next week, and we'll see how that does. I really hope it's good again. Hopefully we see Godspeed. I didn't really enjoy season 6. Oh, and my favorite character is probably Wells. H.R. Wells, Harry Wells, Nash Wells, Sherlock Wells, you name him, he's my favorite. That's probably why season one is my favorite. Despite him not actually being Wells, Eobard is amazing. Amazing, amazing. So yeah, at its best, Flash is amazing, but all in all, the past four seasons I just didn't enjoy as much, so I gotta put it in good. Legends. Legends is good. I'm gonna put Legends above Flash, and this is just because it has been more consistent. Season one was I loved the first two episodes, right? Seeing all your heroes come together from Flash, Mick and Rory, and then from Arrow, Sarah, and Ray. Um, who else was there? The Hawk people, which were terrible, but they were in it, so that was cool. Um, Rip Hunter, I loved Rip, and then Jax, Firestorm, Martin, from Flash. I think that's everybody, right? I'm not missing anyone. Um, I loved it. It was so cool. But the rest of the season was alright. We had that badass, like, one of my favorite deaths in the Arrowverse. There are no strings on me. Oh my god, amazing. My favorite character in this show might be Ray. He's hilarious. In later seasons, I was really sad when he left. But season 5 was really funny. They had that zombie episode, and it reminded me of The Walking Dead. Season 3 was great with what is it, Damien? No, I'm Damien Dark, I think his name was. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. But and then there was Eobard and Malcolm. That was a great season with the Legion of Doom. Or was that season 2? Sorry, that was season 2. Season 2 was great. Season 3 was great. Season 4, the level of humor kind of went up too much with, Gary's nipple. And I thought it was kind of stupid. Like, the comedy kind of went above the show. Like, what the show should be. Because in the end, it is a superhero show. And season 5 kind of brought it back down a bit, which I liked. I do wish they suited up more. They definitely don't suit up enough. But all in all, it is a great show. I don't think there's any character I don't like. Ava is kind of bossy sometimes, but I enjoyed it. And I liked it more than Flash just because I enjoyed seasons 2, 3, and 5. Season one's beginning was great, but after the hype died down of seeing everybody come together, it was kind of dull. And season four was just kind of, too what's the word? Too pushing the comical line, the funniness, to a point where it's just stupid. Lucifer, Lucifer is probably amazing. I love this show. This is what got me into all these other shows. Well, not into them, but this was kind of the first show I binged. And it's hilarious. Let's get that out of the way. Um, Malcolm is a great villain. Pierce was a great villain. I actually enjoyed season 3. I know a lot of people don't care for it. Charlotte's death was so sad. The scene where Lucifer goes to Pierce, like when Pierce says, "I can't do this to Chloe," and like Lucifer's driving after him and the music's playing, and then the scene where that kid dies in season 4, and Lucifer looks at Amenadiel and says, "I'll drive." Um, this show has lots of moments that are just amazing, and the CGI is pretty good, not always the best. Season 5 I liked. This is one of those shows I have a really hard time picking my favorite season and favorite character. I'm kind of weird. I don't really care for Chloe. I mean, I don't hate her, but at her best, I loved her. But there were moments where the way she treated Lucifer, yeah, Lucifer can be an idiot, but sometimes she was irrational and she wasn't thinking about what he's feeling. But I definitely enjoyed Chloe most of the time. But for favorite character, it's probably Maze, Amenadiel, or Lucifer. Or Dan. I mean, it's so hard to pick. I also love the crime aspect. It's not very good cases, they're not that well written out and they're not that in depth. Um, right? They're pretty easy to figure out, but they're still fun, it's like a guilty pleasure. The drama aspect is pretty good. Um, and the mystical, The angel aspect, I loved it. It was a great show. Not as good as Doom Patrol, but it was amazing. Stargirl is great. First of all, the budget was huge. Like Solomon Grundy looked great. I just loved seeing powers. In all these other shows, we don't see powers that much due to budget or just the nature of the show, right? But Stargirl, we just finally got to see powers in action. And well, Courtney was kind of annoying sometimes. I loved her most of the time. The acting was pretty good. Um, and again, the seller for the show was the powers. I don't think it's as good as Arrow. It's only had one season, and I really hope CW doesn't screw it up. But with the way they did Superman, I hope they're gonna do as well with Stargirl. My favorite character in Stargirl? Hmm. My favorite character might be Pat, but or it might be actually the villain. What's his name? Brainwave. Brainwave was such a good villain. You love to hate him, but he was like badass. His calm demeanor and just the way he spoke without moving his mouth. Oh, this show is so good. That's another thing. The villains. The villains in the show are probably better than all these other shows. Doom Patrol has a great villain, or antagonist, but and so does Arrow, has some great ones, and Lucifer. But the rest of these, besides Zoom and Reverse Flash, and maybe a couple in this, the the villains rival all of these. I mean, the JSA versus the what's it called? I can't remember. But the Anti-Justice Society. Um, it's so interesting. Sportsmaster. Again, the powers. We got to see action, and this show was so fun. Um, let's move on to Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing, the horror show. It had some gross aspects, but it was awesome. And it's definitely a good. I'm not sure where to place it. I think it's behind the Flash because I enjoyed it. It had great effects, and the story was great. My favorite character was probably, Swamp Thing himself, Alec. It was scary. It wasn't that scary though. I just didn't. The direction of the show was kind of fuzzy, right? I didn't really know where they were going. It wasn't full on horror, it wasn't full on mystery, but all in all, it was a pretty good show. And the scene where he goes into the swamp and carries out his body was a great scene. The effects were great. The grossness, the goriness was well done. Um, and I was so disappointed when it got to move to CW and they took away the intro because the intro for that show sets the theme for the whole show, like the eeriness. And as you watch more of the show, you start to understand more things in the intro, like a police car sinking. You'll understand that later. So I highly recommend watching it, though don't expect it to have a proper ending. Um, some plot lines do wrap up, and it was a good show. The Boys. The Boys is amazing. I don't know if I like it more than Lucifer, just because Lucifer has a special place in my heart. But first of all, the humor is great. Just to list off my favorite characters, oops, knock something over. Mother Milk, Frenchie, they're probably my two favorites. I like Butcher and Huey as well, but those two rival them, or beat them. As for Suits, I love Queen Maeve. Um, I like kind of the redemption thing they're going on with the Deep and A Train. Homelander is terrifying. Um, terrifying. The show is great. It feels so realistic. Like, what would actually happen if people had powers? Well, it wouldn't be all, happy because people are corrupt. People will take advantage. People will do things for personal gain. And I really love that aspect to it. And it was a great show. I'm looking forward to season 3. Titans. Oh, Titans. When we first saw the trailer for this, we thought it would be terrible, and I enjoyed it. I'm not sure if it was better than Arrow. I'm gonna put it here. I love the action. It was brutal, but it was good. The Robin's fighting was awesome. It's questionable about the way he fights. I mean, they kind of made him very brutal, which is not really Dick Grayson's natural the way he acts. Dick Grayson is not as brutal as Batman, but aside from that, the show was pretty good. Besides the finales, so I have a couple critiques with the show, and there are two, right? A couple. The first one's the finales. They didn't know how to do them. Trigon, I think it was, in the first season. The way they wrapped him up his story was kind of terrible. Um, it was underwhelming. Season two's finale was also underwhelming. I hope Deathstroke isn't actually dead, because he is probably my favorite villain slash anti-hero. So interesting, so badass. And my second thing is a spoiler here if you haven't finished. Donna Troy's death. It was so dumb. I mean, first of all, that shouldn't have killed her, and second, was Superboy not there to save her? Like, he could have easily saved her. It was so poorly done. Um, yeah, but aside from that, I loved it. Superboy's storyline and casting was amazing. Robin is probably my favorite character, like in all of superhero universes, like Marvel and DC together. I love Robin. He is so not Robin, just Robins in general, right? Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and Damian Wayne. I like Stephanie Brown, but she's not really a Robin, along with Cassandra Cain as a spoiler, right? I think she's spoiler. Or is she orphan? Don't quote me on that. But I love Robin, just the idea of him. Um, I love the backstories, right? The way each of the Robins were created, the way each Robin is different and better at something. You always think of Dick as Nightwing and Jason as Red Hood, Tim as Red Robin, Damian as Robin, but I'm rambling, right? Alright, I'm sorry. Anyways, Beast Boy was also great. I wish we saw more of Beast Boy. We had that one episode where we saw some more of him when Connor woke up, and he's like the nicest one there. He's the only one that thinks logically. But it was a great show. It definitely exceeded my expectations, and I am looking forward to season 3. I'm really hoping that they don't screw it up. Lastly, we have Umbrella Academy. Umbrella Academy is probably great right here. Better than Arrow, better than Titans, better than Stargirl. Favorite character? Five or Klaus or Ben. But in season 2, I did start to like Diego. I loved him in season 2, the way they took his character. The show is just amazing. Um, Everything about it, the effects, the opening scene to season 2, the music, the villain, um, the acting. Five's actor is phenomenal, Aiden Gallagher. The story is tragic. It's funny. Has great humor. That scene in episode 2 where he's like, who gave you permission to lay your hand on my son? Hilarious, right? The show is great. But, yeah, this is my list. Again, I apologize if I've rambled on or said too much, because I know I do say and like and so a lot. I'm also sorry that there's a lot of shows here I haven't seen. I definitely want to see them. Most of all, the Daredevil. That's the one I want to see the most. They're all interesting in their own way. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to, leave a like, a comment, do whatever. And I hope you have a fantastic day. If you want, leave a comment. Tell me, what do I rank next? If you see one of these shows on here, like let's say you want to see me rank Black Lightning characters, just comment that down below, or Doom Patrol, or The Boys, or Titans. And I will definitely be taking requests. If there's any of these shows here you think I definitely need to watch, I'll get around to that. Right now I am watching Breaking Bad, so I'm finishing that up. Maybe I'll do a tier list for that. But Alright, I hope everybody has a great day, and I will see you. No, I won't see you, but I hope that you watch me again. Again, have any like criticism or advice, leave it down below. See ya.